Very often when you look at a piece of sheet music or tabs, it has the melody or the notes written out on the lines and then a chord written above. But how does a guitarist that's sitting there playing by themselves play both parts at the same time? That should be pretty simple to be able to play through the melody line, but then we have the chords now written above. The first measure is C, the second measure is E, the third measure F, and the fourth measure G. This is in 4/4 time, and it would be pretty easy to make a strum pattern with that C chord, then the E chord, then the F chord, and then the G chord, and play through each of those measures, and it could sound something like this. The rhythm guitarist in this case would be doing something similar to that, but we just have one guitar. We're one person trying to play a solo little piece. So we want to connect that chord in with that melody. The way we're going to achieve this is by doing some note replacement. We're going to replace that first note with a C chord. In the second measure, we're going to replace the first note with an E chord. In the third measure, replace the first note with an F chord. And in the fourth measure, replace the first note with a G chord. There's one thing you have to watch out for in every measure you change chords. You have to look at the note that it's replacing. When we look at that first measure with the C above, we have a C note. That C note is played on second string, first fret. The rule is, you want to play that chord to the note that's written below it. So in this case, we would strum the C chord only to second string. We wouldn't hit first string. Since we've now replaced the first note with a chord, we're going to strum it to start that measure off. We want to make sure then to just go from fifth string, that's the starting string of a C chord, ending on second string, on that C note that's written in the note line below. The first measure would then look something like this. Instead of having we'll replace that first second string note with a strum to second string. In the second measure, you see that we have an E chord written above, and the note below is a G sharp. In your E major chord, first finger on third string, first fret, second finger on fifth string, second fret, and your third finger on fourth string, second fret. That G sharp note is located under your first finger, third string. So when we go to strum, we want to strum from sixth, the lowest string in an E major chord, to third string, leaving out first and second. The second measure would then look something like this. A strum from 6 to 3, finish off the rest of the measure. The third and fourth measures are going to be done the exact same way. Third measure, starting with an F major chord, you can set up F major this way, with a bar on first and second string, your second finger on third string, second fret, and your third finger on fourth string, third fret. Or you can set up an E chord, barred on first fret. So in that third fret with F, the first note that's played that we're going to replace with the F chord is on third string, second fret. In your F chord, either shape, you're going to find that with your second finger. Strum from sixth to third string if you're using the E chord moved up, or from fourth to third string if you're using the smaller F shape. Then finish out the last 7 notes. And in the fourth measure with G, we have third string open as the first note we're going to replace with that G chord. A G chord starts on 6th string, is strummed all the way to first, but in this case, since we're replacing that note, we're going to strum it just to that third string open. Finish out the last 7.